Hi, I'm Michael Cornell, the founder of the Aligned Ballet Method. And if you like this video, please click subscribe. And if you would like 30 days of free virtual ballet training with us, go to our website, alignballetmethod.com, and you can sign up for a free 30-day trial to study with us virtually from your own home. We have classes for total beginners to advanced students. So this is my top 10 list of things I'd like beginning ballet students to focus on in their first few months of training. Really, you never stop working on many of these ideas, but I think these are ideas that are really good to emphasize from the beginning, and I think they take detailed explanation. So I hope these ideas help you. I'm going to show you our beautiful studio in Los Angeles near Beverly Hills. It's magnificent. If you train with us virtually, this is the same camera that we use. It'll be very much the same sound quality, sounds great, looks great. We simulcast our live classes, so there'll be other students here with me. You'll see me working with them. We really believe in virtual as a way of communication, as a new teaching tool. I think it's fantastic. We're full force into virtual, so please come join us. So this tip has to do with lifting up out of the hips and not leaning into the bar. You're going to hear teachers say this a lot, lift up. What do they mean? Let's go into this in detail. So I'll show you what not lifting up looks like. If a dancer is at the bar and they're kind of doing their bar exercises with a very relaxed kind of pedestrian body posture. You see that? Kind of relaxed. So let me back this up just a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, it's remote control. So you see people like kind of very casually relaxed. But ballet posture, and when we begin working in ballet, there's nothing casual about it. Ballet is an intense process, and when we work with the body at the bar and in center, I refer to it as being activated. You have to activate your body. The same way you turn on your cell phone to make a call. You've got to turn it on. You have to turn your body on when you're working in class. And what does that look like? So we take this posture and we just lift up out of the hips. Now, I'd like to go a little deeper with my students on this idea. Instead of just thinking of lifting up out of the hips, I'd like to think of the spinal column. I think it's a deeper way of addressing this idea, the spinal column. Your spinal column have vertebrae that stack on top of each other. Vertebrae, one by one vertebrae stacking on top of each other. When you're working in ballet class, what if you think of not just lifting up out of the hips, what if you actually think of creating space in between each vertebrae? What if you think about lengthening the spine? I believe that to be a deeper way of looking at the issue. So I'm in second position. I want to take from the top of my head and I want to create space out of the base of my spine through the top of my head. After my dance career was over, I worked as a personal trainer for a long time here in Hollywood before I started the Aligned Ballet Method. I did a great deal of education on anatomy and physiology, kinesiology. And one thing I learned during my training was that if you lengthen the spine, the core muscles automatically fire. Just go ahead and feel your stomach for a second. Go ahead and relax. Right? Now, stretch the spine. And all of a sudden, you'll feel all these, especially the internal, external obliques, this is the rectus abdominis, you're going to feel all that engaged. You can literally go from soft to what I call engaged. So we want to lift up out of the hips. One thing to be aware of is that when you're lifting up out of the hips, you want to maintain your weight over your hips. You don't want to lift up to the point where you're lifting backwards, where you're taking your shoulder behind your body. That will put your body in the wrong position. I actually think that ballet posture is a little bit forward over the balls of the feet, and it's not exactly vertical. It's slightly up and forward. I mean, when I'm talking about this, I mean the difference between here and there. It's that subtle. I'm not exactly, this is me standing upright, but in ballet class, I shift the weight on the balls of my feet, my first two toes, and I feel like I'm on a slight diagonal forward. That's more, in my opinion, the proper place to be dancing at the bar. We certainly don't want to be backwards, but these are things you have to begin to discover for yourself. When you start to begin to nail really great balances, and you begin to feel that strength of your center, you'll know you're there. Then the other idea I'd like to cover, so this is sort of 2 tips in one, is not leaning into the bar while you're working. And this is just a general idea, that when you're standing at the bar, and I talked about this earlier in one of the other videos, but I'd like to re-emphasize it. When you make a tendu, you lift up out of the hips, and that will prevent you from leaning towards the bar. This is a very common thing we see. We see like passe balance is a little bit like that. You see that? That's leaning into the bar. We want to be completely vertical, where the midline of the body is straight up and down. Generally, when the dancer is vertical, properly vertical, not leaning into the bar, both sides of the back look very even. There's an equal amount of distance on both sides of the body. I talked about this last night in my class, that ballet, good ballet has a great deal of symmetry to it. Both sides are equal. It has symmetry. It has good ballet posture and form has symmetry, as opposed to something that looks asymmetrical. So when you're working at the bar, please lift up out of the hips, stretching the space in between the vertebrae, and don't lean into the bar on any position, including fondue. General idea. I hope you enjoyed this. If so, click subscribe, go to our website, onlineballetmethod.com. We'd love to work with you. Thank you.